Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be when you thought they thought like you did. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So I'm referring to the toxic person, yes, the narcissist. Back when you were in that relationship with them, you thought that they thought the way you did. You thought that they were committed, that they were honest, that they were genuine, that they were transparent, and that they would be an authentic person. You now know that all those things get thrown out the window once you acquire the wisdom and you realize that this person doesn't think the way you think. They never have and they never will. You see, the narcissist is stuck in that loop, in that narcissistic loop of manipulation and confusion and chaos, and they know what they're doing. I've said it in thousands of videos. They won't change, they won't introspect, they won't be accountable, and they don't think the way you think. What the narcissist thinks of is they think of opportunities, and they think of how to take from people, and they think how to trick people and trap them, and they think what they can take out from under the nose of somebody. They also think that they can change their mask so effortlessly, meaning at one period of time, the narcissist can get married. Are they in love with the person they married? Absolutely not, because the narcissist has no love. But what they did is they weaponized love against that person, meaning they had that person believe that the narcissist, and they didn't know they were a narcissist, was committed in that relationship because they had a wedding ring on their finger. Nothing, and I mean nothing, could be further from the truth. The narcissist does not think clearly. They do not think objectively. The narcissist thinks that everybody's out to get them. They think they're in competition with everybody. They think that life is a zero-sum game. They think that what other people have, they should have. They think that nobody will ever figure out who they are. They know, and I'm referring to the narcissist, they know that they're filled with anxiety. They know that they always have to be on the go. They always know that they're not going to be loyal to anybody, and they will change relationships like that once a better relationship in their eyes, or as they deem, falls into their lap. The narcissist also thinks this way. They think that they can manipulate people and keep them trapped in that narcissistic fog for the rest of their life. That is completely a fallacy. You are a person who has put two and two together. You've figured it out. You know what narcissism is. You're not in the narcissistic fog, or maybe you're in it a little bit and you're getting clarity more and more each and every day. Or maybe this is the first video you're consuming and you're wondering what the narcissistic fog is. Stay on the path, continue to focus on yourself, and realize that the narcissist doesn't think the way you think. The narcissist looked at you and they watched the way you walked, the way you talked, the way you handled yourself, the way you handled adversity, the way that you juggled multiple jobs, raised kids, paid bills on time, cooked, cleaned, made sure that all the vacations and holidays were taken care of. You see, you did everything for the narcissist. You didn't know that back then. You thought that you were in a loving, two-way, stable, healthy, reciprocal relationship. That's not the relationship you were in. You were being used and abused and manipulated. You were what I call the unpaid helper. You were the chauffeur, you were the cook, the cleaner, you were the sounding board, you were the person who would regulate the narcissist. You probably were their mom without even knowing it, maybe even their dad, meaning you were a support system telling them, it's gonna be okay, everything's gonna be fine, don't worry about it, you'll be okay. What you were doing is you were making excuses for the narcissist. You were turning a blind eye. You weren't trusting your instincts or intuition, and you were ignoring red flags that were littered all throughout that relationship because you thought that the narcissist could change. You thought that there was a shred of honesty within them. You thought there was something to work with. You thought that you could elevate them or help them improve their circumstances, or you could teach them something, or you could show them what love was, and you could make them see the good side. You now know that all of the fruits of your labor, they went out the window because the narcissist knew that you thought a certain way, and they knew that they thought a completely different way than you. Think about what I'm mentioning to you. If the narcissist walked up to you and handed you that 2-page report and said, here's who I am, here's what I've done to other people, it's what I'm gonna do to you, but I'm gonna drag this out as long as I possibly can. And yeah, we'll have kids, and yeah, you can go to work and you can earn all the money in the world, but I'm gonna take this away from you. I'm gonna take your 401k, I'm gonna take your health, I'll try and take the kids away from you, I'll use the smear campaign, but out in general public, what I will do is I'll play the victim card that you're the bad person and that you did all these bad things. If they did that, you would have run for the hills, but that's not what they did. Remember, the narcissist insidiously crept into your life. They slithered into your life like a snake in the darkness. And once they got their dirty fangs sunken into you, i.e. the love bomb was over, and they knew that you either professed to them you loved them, or you wanted to marry them, or have kids with them, or relocate, or go into business, or put a roof over their head, whatever you're going to do. Once you did that, they knew it was advantage them, game, set, match, and that you would never figure it out. Well, a funny thing happened along the way. You did figure it out, because you're unlike all of the billions of people who never have figured it out, and many of which will never figure it out. That's why you now understand that when you thought the narcissist thought the way you thought, there was nothing wrong with that thinking. You are an empath. You are a kind, loving, stable, healthy person, and you most likely were believing that everybody else thought the way you thought. Well, lo and behold, here comes the juggernaut, the apex predator, the narcissist, and they spun your world upside down, and they showed you that they don't think anything even close to the way you think. They think dark energy. You think abundance. They think break-in and destruction. You think growing and togetherness and being committed. Anything that you had that the narcissist didn't have, they try to take it from you. Meaning, time, energy, money, love, empathy, effort, commitment, your belief in humanity, your belief in people, and your belief in yourself. They try to take it all from you. This is why the narcissist didn't think the way you think. They never have and they never will. The narcissist goes through life trying to accumulate. They accumulate broken hearts. They accumulate money. They accumulate how many times they're married. They accumulate how many lives they've blown up and destroyed. They accumulate all the different jobs and all the people's lives they've ruined there. This is what they do, but they don't think the way you think. Now, understand something for this video. If you are a kind, loving, stable, empathetic person, and most likely you are, you need to understand you are a rare person. There are people out there, and at the top of this list is the narcissist, who do not have the ability to love. They can fake it, but they don't know what love is. They know how to destroy love. There are also people out there that don't know what empathy is. There still are people on the planet thinking that an empath doesn't exist. Well, think again. I'm not going to go into that anymore. What I'll share with you is, if you have the ability to love and you have empathy, you have two ingredients that the narcissist doesn't have, which is why they probably targeted you and probably tried their best to get into a relationship with you, and they succeeded for a period of time until they couldn't succeed any longer. And that's when that relationship broke. Something gave, something snapped, and either you were discarded or you ended it. Any way you cut it, you're out of that relationship. And now you're understanding that very few people think the way you think. But at the top of that list is the narcissist. Remember, the narcissist is a predator. They are a predator looking for prey. They're looking for the vulnerable. They're looking for the naive. They're looking for people that are trusting. They're looking for people that are kind and committed and want to help other people, and they want to do the right thing. And you are probably all those people, meaning kind, loving, stable, and everything I talk about. Well, the narcissist saw that, and they said, wait a minute, this person's rare. I haven't come across somebody like this in quite a long time. Maybe 2 or 3 relationships ago, I had somebody even close to that, but it wasn't this kind of person, which was you. I need to make sure that I lock this person down for a period of time. Next thing you know, you're roommates, and roommates go from roommates to wedding bells, and next thing you know, here we go. Once the wedding bells rang, and if you married the narcissist, you know what I'm talking about, it was game, set, match, advantage narcissist. They now knew they had the ring on the finger, and you were going nowhere because you were committed. It's the same thing when you loan the money, same thing when you relocated, same thing when you decided to not finish your studies, same thing when you decided you want to have children. With the narcissist, they knew that they had a built-in supply source, which was you. Now, you are not supply. You're a beautiful, bright, shining light. You are a kind, loving person. The narcissist tried to take all of that and more from you because they don't think the way you think. So now I'm going to fast forward. Say the relationship has ended. Say it's ended a few months ago, a couple of years ago, and you're still healing. I get it. It's a journey. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. But maybe there's still a little breadcrumb of something that you're holding on to, still thinking, well, no, they told me this, A, B, and C, and they said the right words a few times to me, and maybe you're holding on to those words. You need to understand where those words came from. They came from a place of manipulation. They came from a place of toxicity. They came from a place of knowing what strings to pull to play on your heartstrings. You need to throw those words out the window, meaning what was done was done. The past is over. You need to heal from it. You need to take those lifelong learning lessons, apply the tools that you've acquired, put the definitions to work for you. Example, what is gaslighting? What is triangulation? What is a smear campaign? What is projection and mirroring and silent treatment and all that? You need to put those to work for you, and you need to insulate and protect yourself. And as you're doing that, you will get stronger. As you get stronger, the narcissist gets weaker. As they get weaker, they matter less and less to you. The less they matter to you, the more clarity arrives in your mind. The clearer your mind gets, the more you realize that, yes, the narcissist never thought the way you thought. You thought they did think the way you thought, and you thought that there was a little breadcrumb of honesty or love or respect in there. There's nothing in there but a vast wasteland. There's nothing but a bottomless pit. There's nothing but an empty shell. These people use people as fuel sources. They use people as rudders or sails or engines on an ocean of abuse, and they are the captain of that ship. That's why you were hoodwinked, you were trapped and tricked, and you fell into the cycle where they placed you. Because most likely the narcissist love bombed you and told you they were a victim, or no one loved them, or they had such a rough childhood, or they weren't educated, or they have no money, or they can never catch a break, or all their exes want nothing to do with them. They sold you a bill of goods, you bought it hook, line, and sinker. Next thing you know, you're in the deep end of destruction, the cesspool of manipulation, and the minefield of misery. Yes, the narcissistic fog. And you didn't know how you got there, but now you do, because the narcissist doesn't think anything like you. As I shared before I get ready to close the video, they're a predator. They're looking for someone who's wounded. They're looking for someone who doesn't know themselves. They're looking for someone who they can mold like a piece of Play-Doh or putty into their hands and have that person do things for them. That's what that's how I was groomed and tricked and trapped. And that's why I fell into the lure and the web of the narcissist. You most likely did the same thing. But you need to realize these people don't think the way you think. They are always in competition with other people. They're always comparing their clothes, their words, their hairstyle, their car, the trips they go on, how much work they do, how much work they don't do, what they had for dinner, what restaurant they went to, what music they listened to, what concert they attended. They're looking for an endless search for supply. And supply doesn't have to be a human being. It can be a pet, it can be a trip, it can be an Amazon package, it can be a vice, it can be hanging up on somebody, it can be a dating app, it can be anything to the narcissist. That's why these people need to live in people's minds rent-free. And that's why when you were in that relationship with the narcissist, you didn't know what was up, down, left, right, in or out, or black or white, because you were being consumed by the narcissist. You were drinking the liquid, the Kool-Aid that they were pouring, believing that they cared about you, believing that they loved you, believing that they could change, believing that tomorrow will be a better day, because you were listening to what they were selling you. I did the same thing until I didn't. And my hope is you're out and you're healing, or you're out and you've healed, or you're about to get out and you understand what narcissism is. Once you do, you need to get as far away from these people as fast as you possibly can. Have a small footprint, heal properly, and insulate and protect yourself. But above all, before this video, before I close it, you need to recognize they don't think the way you think. They never have, and they never will. This is why these people aren't accountable. It's why they aren't introspective, and it's why they will never give you a genuine, heartfelt apology, because they can't say those words. It's too painful for them. If they were to apologize and actually mean it, which will never happen, that means that they would have to look at all the other nastiness, all the other toxicity that they've dumped into all the other people before they met you. And that would create such a massive narcissistic injury. It may be one that they never recover from. So what instead does the narcissist do? They keep on looking for vulnerable, naive, empathetic, loving, kind, stable people who don't know what narcissism is, so they can have those people believe that the narcissist thinks the way they think. They can enter that relationship and fall into the deep end of the web of toxicity, and those people will stay stuck for the rest of their lives. That's what the narcissist is hoping for. Again, before you, so many people that knew the narcissist, the one you're considering, they probably never got out. They probably never put two and two together, but you have, and you are doing it. That's why you're getting stronger. That's why you're becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered. And you're different than all those other people. You are an important, loved, cherished, honored, and extremely courageous and strong human being. The narcissist knew that. They tried to extinguish you in your beautiful, bright, shining light, but they failed. That's why you're here. That's why you're getting your cup full. So before I close the video, remember, the narcissist doesn't think the way you think. You may think that they do or they did. They don't, and they never will. They think about one person, and that's themselves. They don't care about anybody else on this planet. That includes their spouses, their parents, their siblings, their kids, their stepkids, their neighbors, colleagues, coworkers, and anybody in between. At the end of the day, the narcissist is a self-serving, parasitical predator, and they need a host. Don't be the host any longer. Block those people. Get off the radar of them and go no contact. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Understand a few things. One, the narcissist thinks about themselves. Number two, they will throw anybody under the bus whenever they want to get whatever they want. Number three, don't think that the narcissist can change and improve. They can't. Number four, does the narcissist know what they're doing? Yes, they do. Number five, were you targeted? Yes, you were. Number six, did the narcissist try to break you in that relationship over and over and over again once they knew they had their dirty paws or dirty fangs sunken into you? Yes, they did. The last thing I will share with you, if you think for a minute, now that you know what narcissism is and you know the person you're considering is toxic, maybe even a narcissist, if you think for a minute that they can change and improve and that one day they're going to have an epiphany and then one day they're going to say, oh my gosh, I want to be good. I can't believe I did all those bad things. You need to think again, they won't change. They will continue to take any opportunity or any avenue of communication that is still available to them, to you, to punish you for being you. That's why you need to get this message. Play the video, play it a few times, get off the radar of these creatures and stay away from them. So everyone, that's the video. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.